it up. It's the Record Machine with your host, Jimi Holl.
I guess I'm gonna have to burn this house down. Honey, your leaving's killing me. We put these walls up together and they still stand tall. But every loose board on this hardwood floor screeches out a memory. And I can't go on like this, just dwelling on a used to be. I can fix these halls and patch these walls, but there's no patching up you and me. There's a memory in every single room. I can't seem to get rid of you. A two-story reminder of a love that didn't work out. I'm gonna have to burn this house down. Guess I'm gonna need to pack up a few things. Whatever don't break my heart to see. Looking around I don't see much that's been untouched. Everything must go, pictures and clothes, and I guess I don't need this key. 'Cause I can't go on like this, just dwelling on the used to be. I can fix these halls and patch these walls, but there's no patching up you and me. There's a memory in every single room. I can't seem to get rid of you. A two-story reminder of a love that didn't work out. I'm gonna have to burning memories till there's nothing but ash. I'm starting fresh, yeah, I'm starting from scratch. 'Cause I couldn't go on like that, just dwelling on you and me. I could've tried to pretend, say that it could've been fixed when I knew damn well that it couldn't be. With an old matchbook and a can of gas, I said goodbye to what we had. Two-story reminder of a love that didn't work out. I knew I had to burn this house down. Oh yeah, I knew I had to burn this house down. I guess I'm gonna have to burn this house down.
Ladies and gentlemen, singer-songwriter Jeremy Parsons. Hey, how you doing, Jeremy?
Great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I got up this morning, I made my coffee, and now I'm going to chat with you for a few minutes.
Nice. Heck yeah. I had a very similar experience, but on my end.
So where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, nice. What's the weather like there today?
It's all right. We've had a lot of rain. I think everyone's had a lot of rain lately, but we had a couple beautiful, like, actual fall days, which was nice. Today's kind of dreary, it seems, so far, but it's not too bad. A little bit humid and muggy, which we get a lot of, but I'm looking forward to cooler weather finally.
Yeah, it seems like it's been that way in a lot of places. I mean, last week it rained for quite a few days as well, and then this week it's kind of muggy out, and the sun comes in, goes out, but it's still warm out.
Yeah, it's all that hurricane weather too, man. That's like, as long as we're not getting the brunt of it and stuff, it's good. It's not good for everywhere else, unfortunately, but you know,
Yeah.
Mother Nature does her thing.
Yeah, I've been listening to Things I Need to Say, man. That's a great CD. I've been listening to it a lot.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. It was a necessary project to make, I guess is the best way to put it.
It must have made you feel really good that a lot of people helped kick in for that, huh?
Yeah, and that was the thing too. I couldn't have obviously released it. I paid for the initial production and everything. I ran out of money as far as getting it printed goes.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting physical copies and everything else made, like getting it, mastered and everything. So it was nice that everyone contributed. I honestly, like, it wouldn't be there right now. I just have a bunch of like produced and unmastered songs just sitting on a shelf somewhere, which would be driving me crazy. But yeah, it was super nice. Everyone was. I mean, that's always a scary deal too. It's such a, like, your initial thought is, why the heck would anyone want to give me money? So.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, but I guess from them listening to your prior music and stuff, they're big fans and they want to make sure that it gets out and everybody gets to hear it, and they want to hear it, so they're going to back you on it. You know what I mean? That's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's super cool, and I've had a lot of fun connecting with people. I play downtown in Nashville currently. Found a residency down there. I'm there every weekend and everything. So it's given me a chance to connect with people from like all over the states and outside of it, outside of the U.S. here. And it's been, I think that was probably the thing that really drove it home, is making that connection with those people downtown,
mm-hmm.
which was been great.
Now, is that the Swinging Door Saloon?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So you play there a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend. I'm there Friday, and I think I have a Monday slot for now too. I would definitely like to get out and just be more about playing original music, which they're not completely against down there, but it is, like I said, it has been it's been really great for growth as far as like learning things about myself as a guitar player and a singer, and like finding your limitations and everything like that. It's been perfect. I wouldn't trade those hours and days and stuff for anything, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been into music? Did you start out as a young kid?
No, I mean, I think I've always loved music, but I think I didn't even think of it as a career probably until I was 17, I think was the age. I was junior in high school, maybe about to be a senior, and my parents tried to get me guitar lessons when I was younger,
mm-hmm.
and I was an outdoor kid. Like I would show up for meals, and then I was right back out the door. So the attention span wasn't really there as far as sitting down for hours and practicing on guitar, because I could barely make it a full minute.
Mm-hmm.
But it was always around, and so when I was 17, I don't know, I got bit by some kind of bug, and Texas music was so, a lot of the original singer-songwriters were coming out at that time, and it was so, it was flourishing throughout where I was in Southwest Texas. There was a lot of honky-tonks, and I was about 30-40 minutes away from Green Hall, so there were a lot of really cool people playing there because it's such a historic venue. I think the bug kind of found me when I was 17, and I just started playing guitar, and my friends were doing some activities that I didn't really necessarily get into. I felt like my parents had suffered enough with my sisters.
Okay.
So I just picked up a guitar and got really addicted to it, and took off. Then I probably wrote my first song like 6 to 8 months later, and it's been a whirlwind since then. That's been over 10 years ago now. well, over almost 13, 14 years ago now, I guess.
That's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
and you've always been a solo artist, or you've been in other bands?
I mean, well, I've usually had people backing me up, but it's never been like a duo thing or anything. It's usually just been me and my friends. We just all jam as a band together. Sometimes it'll be Jeremy Parsons and whoever I'm playing with, or we might make up like a goofy name or something just for like one specific show if it's not something we're ever going to do again. But yeah, it's me.
And when you, like you said, when you play the Swingin' Door Saloon, you play mostly cover songs when you do that?
Yeah, I do. I'll slip in originals every once in a while, and like I'll play some of my favorites. Like I love John Prine and like Jason Isbell and all those guys. So I'll slip those in for people who may have never heard of them. But it's predominantly cover songs. Yeah.
And who do you like to play? Like when you do covers, like whose music?
Who do I like to play specifically?
Yeah.
I like the older stuff, to be honest. My dad raised me on like Waylon and Hank Williams Sr. So I mean, I'll stay in that vein usually. But most of the people come in, we get a lot of bachelorette parties, so you got to go kind of outside of your comfort zone with them. Like sometimes they want to hear something like hip hop ish, or like either that or just new country like Sam Hunt and stuff. Which I don't have anything against that stuff. It's just not in my wheelhouse naturally, but I'll do it for them because that's what we're there for. I feel like,
Yeah, I talked to a friend of mine who goes back and forth from L.A. to Memphis, and he told me that a lot of places in Memphis, they when they have you play there, they want you to play mostly cover music, and he's like that. It kind of stinks because you do want to get your original music out there too, and I guess it's not fun, when you have to play the same cover songs all the time,
Oh yeah, no, it's always like I feel like I'm always like after every weekend I always sit down during the weeks and I'm like, all right, what's something that like people would like? I mean, because '90s country is still very popular, so like there was a lot of '90s music in general was still, I think, very popular, and it's nostalgic for a lot of people. So, like, I try to gravitate towards something that's a good in-between. Like, if you don't really like the newer stuff, it's just like, there's got to be some common ground that we can land on here. So I find myself, like, jumping back to the early 2000s or the 90s when stuff was, like, I feel like music had a very, like, open-minded vibe in the 90s. Kind of like, it's kind of getting back there now, I feel like, but it was people were doing a lot of really cool things in the 90s.
Yeah, there was a lot of good country music, I think, in the 90s. I used to DJ like live events, like bar mitzvahs and weddings and stuff. And I mean, it's not the same thing that you're doing, but I kind of know what you're saying. It's like you feel like you're going to the same place every weekend and you're playing pretty much the same music. You kind of get bored of it, I would think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's super similar. I have a buddy that DJs. Nashville's really big downtown. On like they have these rooftop clubs / bars type things now, and it is the same deal. You have a playlist, and every now and then people will come up and like request Freebird or Wagon Wheel or something, and you're like, oh, it's a cliche customer, but I think like. If you're getting into that, you know what you're getting into. It's just like when you have to do it all the time, you just get that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, but it's like along those lines. You just get, I guess you get bored is what it is. You want to mix it up or do stuff that you're more like intimately connected with, like as far as your own material goes and everything.
Yeah, it was like this weekend. My wife and I went down to Asbury Park because her cousin got married, and I think that song by Kool and the Gang, Celebration, came on, and my wife just looks at me and she goes, how many times do you think you've heard this song in your life? I'm like, probably 1 million times. And she's like,
oh yeah,
you hate it, right? And I'm like, yes.
Oh yeah, man, that's absolutely, that's like you get, like, that's your version of like someone yelling Freebird out from the back of a room. Absolutely. That's so funny.
But I do get requests. It's funny that you say that. I do, when I was DJing these live events, they would always ask for like Freebird. They would ask for AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long. That song by Meatloaf, Paradise by the Dashboard Light. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that song.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's so
Brown Eye Girl, The Electric Slide.
Oh, man.
YMCA.
Yeah, if you can make a cliche, like that's why I always joke with some of my buddies who play downtown. I was like, man, we need to make a compilation disc. It's like songs you used to like until you played downtown Nashville. And it's just be like Wagon Wheel, like all these different songs.
Yeah, songs you've learned to hate.
Yeah. Just make volumes and volumes.
Yeah, well, I said to my wife, I said, I did it from the time I was about 16 till I was 39. And that was almost 10 years ago. And she's like, do you ever miss it? And I'm like, you know what? I really don't. I mean, it's, the times have changed too. I mean, when I started doing it, I was using, vinyl records, and then they were phasing those out, and then it was CDs, and then they phased the CDs out. And now it's, you're using a MacBook and, some speakers. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have like the light show software on their laptops and stuff. It's like a whole
production.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, you got to buy the board and everything. It's nuts.
The video monitors for the, to show the music video of the song that you're playing. I have a friend that does it. Yeah. I have a friend in LA that does it, and it's just a lot. I mean, but going back to what you're saying about playing the same gig, like it's like you feel like it's like that movie Groundhog Day almost. You're waking up and you're going through the same motion over and over again. It's like.
Oh, absolutely.
I guarantee you, you would rather, get in your truck or your van or whatever and just hit a bunch of different places, every week.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, too. It's like you get it's like we all start, like, doing something we really love because we really love it. And, like, at some point, I think stuff happens and you find yourself in different situations, I guess. So I needed to figure out, how I was gonna sustain music, because I've been able to be a full-time musician now for over 10 years. Like, it's been my only job. Like, I co-write during the week and everything, and I was out on the road like so much. I got to go to like Norway and travel the U.S. over like the UK, London and stuff. And, I did the touring thing for a while, and I think I got kind of burnt out on it just because it wasn't so much that I wasn't loving what I was doing. It was just the people that I was doing it with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a toxic kind of really bitter environment.
Uh-huh.
And I just needed to, I was like, I walked away from that, and a lot of people were like, dude, what are you doing? You have a pretty sweet gig. And I was like, man, it's like I do this because I love playing music, and if I'm not enjoying doing that, then I need to find a new direction to go, because that's like, that's the only reason why I do it. If you don't love something, why would you do it?
Mm.
I feel like my dad raised me with that mentality, so I split off, and then had some buddies that were playing downtown, and I like kind of got me back into like the whole like creating and just like playing and having fun, because it was just jamming with friends. And I feel like at a certain point that's awesome, but we all get to that point where we just need to like lay this thing down and pick up something else, because you get what you need from something, and then you move on to the next thing where you can like keep on going, so to speak. Yeah,
that makes sense. It's a tough business. The entertainment business is a tough business, and sometimes you get a good gig, and you do it for a while, and then it's like, what, I feel like I should be doing something else, and then you want to go in a different direction. It's not that you don't like the people or the place that you're playing at. It's just, that you got stuff in you that you need to get out, and sometimes that holds you back if you just stay in the same spot,
Yeah, absolutely. We get like settled into that complacency type thing, and it's just like you just gotta just move on sometimes. And like I said, like there's nothing really that like connecting with people on original music is, I think, the thing that got me into this in the first place. So like, you know, doing more of that just naturally makes sense to me as far as those. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I met a guy that he's a I guess he's a manager. He manages artists, and he told me the best way to you know, to get heard and get people into your music is to get a van and a few buddies and throw everybody in the van and just drive around all over the place and just play everywhere you can.
Oh yeah, that's like the old. Well, see, and that's the thing too. It's like I feel like it's funny looking back because that's what we all used to do in Texas. Like during summers, when as soon as school got out, it was just in like three friends. Our buddy had a van, and we would travel around Texas. And like some shows we would have booked, and then the other ones we would show up like in the morning or whatever and be like, hey, if you need like a supporting act for this guy, we'll do it for cheap. You know, like. Whatever, an alcohol tab, like $50 each, you know. We would like, you know, negotiate and everything, and it was fun. Like that's how we all like cut our teeth. So it's always weird to like wake up some days and be like, man, I'm just like transplanted and stuff, you know. But it's like you kind of want to like spread the wings again and get out. But like that's always like that's like how I think we just are as people who do this. Like if we're not moving, we feel like we're just like rotting in place or something. But like I said, this whole like what I've gotten from like being here this long, I guess, has been necessary because I've grown as a writer, and in the downtime I've had time to like write my next record and figure out, you know, what I needed to say next, or like who, like the type of artist or like the type of sound that I wanted to really like, to like just cover this entire next record is really kind of been solidified already. And I don't even have plans to go back to the studio like anytime real soon. Like I would like to, but it's been really good for me figuring that out, which is necessary, I think, you know.
So the latest release, Things I Need to Say, when did that come out?
That came out a little over a year ago.
Oh, okay. And now you said you wrote material for a new album. You just don't have any plans on doing any recording yet.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm always like planning around that, but like it's like you never know. I just gotta wait. I'm waiting for like, I don't know. I want to make sure that I do right by this record first. It's easy to get excited about new things, but paying attention, you know, it's like having one child and then, you know, being like, oh, I'm gonna have another one as soon as I can, and then you're just like, oh wait, I should probably focus on nurturing this child.
Exactly.
But it's like new and exciting. So like it's kind of just like. I mean, I think that's one thing, too, with this industry, something that, like, an artist are, like, generally, like, a little bit spastic and, like, bouncing off the walls and stuff in different types of ways. So it's, like, practicing patience it's become very important to me. As I get older, I'm just like, all right, chill out, Jeremy. It's cool. You have time. And I'm like, all right. It's cool. I get it. I'm listening.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's just like, you know, it's like, hold on, when the time is right, it'll be right, and I'll know it. I'll just, you know, follow my gut like I always have. And but like this record just means so much to me too. So it seems, and people are still like connecting with these songs, and it's been like really nice to see. And I may even just put out another single off this record because we had a Burn This House Down was first, and then Why Is the Bluebird Blue was second, and I'm in talks with my buddy right now. He's kind of like, he and I do our own, like, we did both the videos together, and we just conceptually bond very well on creative thought. So we're talking about picking the next single right now. So we kind of work as my label, as in we'll pick the single, we'll set up the concept for the music video, and then we'll pick a date, shoot it, and then I'll set up a release for the third single probably. I would say within the next like 2 or 3 months, which is always cool. It's tough though, because like it's like I feel like when I write, I take so much time in between records that by the time that I put out my next record, like everything that I picked for that record is kind of just my greatest hits of that time.
Mm-hmm.
I mind it feels like a immodest thing to say, but it's the songs that I really love.
Right.
And that's why they're all on the project. So it's always tough picking a single when you're like, you feel so connected with every track on the record in just different ways.
I guess the business, as far as, selling CDs is not really that big anymore. A lot of people are doing downloads off of Amazon and iTunes and Spotify. So, I like to go to the store. I used to like to go to the store to buy music, but, now when I buy my music, I go to like record shows. They have a record show like once a month in my area, and I go out there and I buy vinyl or I buy CDs. And I used to love doing that, but I don't know, I guess people just would rather just click a mouse and download the file, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird. I always joke about it because it's such a it's like the most flourishing time for social media. But if you actually like stand back and look at everything, it's like ironic because it's like it feels like so antisocial because no one's actually connecting in person anymore at those like live shows. And I guess that is going back to it. That's one of my favorite things about downtown is like I sell most of my physical copies downtown because if people ask to hear an original, they like it. I'm like, hey, there's no pressure. You can like just follow me on Spotify, because those spins look good and the follow look good. But I have the physical copies. Like I just made a stand and I have koozies there and I have CDs for sale. And on a good weekend, I can sell about 10 CDs, and that's like 10 new people that might hear it, and if they have friends in the car, that's some more people that might hear it. So it's kind of cool. Like getting out there is key because I think people they're like, oh, when are we going to be back? We might never get to buy this physical copy of this CD ever again.
Mm-hmm. I think it's great that bands still offer physical copies. I know a few bands that actually put some stuff out on vinyl as well, and I buy that. I buy CDs still. I have a ton of vinyl and ton of CDs. I love going out and buying that stuff. And whenever I go to a show, if they have stuff for sale, I always buy it.
Oh, I love that. The whole vinyl resurgence thing is probably like one of my favorite things that's happened in like the past 5 to 10 years as far as music goes. I'm like, you just can't beat that sound, man. Like even the old, like it's cleaner than the old records, but like if you put on like an old like Zeppelin record or something,
Mm-hmm.
that like woody like analog sound is just it makes me calm down immediately. It's weird. It's like instant like settled nostalgia. It's like just a hug. It's great.
You have a nice record collection?
I do, and it's like constantly on the rise because if I find myself in a store and I just see I'm one of those people, if I walk by something, I'm like, I really like that, and I'll walk away from it. If I can't stop thinking about it, I'll have to like go back and get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, and there's so many, like you said, there's so many people like putting out to release their new record, and it's on vinyl. So it's like, I find myself buying like John Prine, I think, was one of the last ones I bought on vinyl. His record came out, I think, in April or May, and it's just like green, and they had this like they said collector's edition, and I was like, oh well, why not?
Yeah, they don't do a lot. Like this one guy I'm friends with, his name is Lewis. He has a band called Mass. He printed up. He had 500 copies printed up, and that's it. So it's first come, first serve. You go to his website, you buy it, and that's it. And they sign them too. So which I think is very cool. And you know, a lot of bands are doing it because it brings back those memories of, in the day when you used to go to the store and have that vinyl and look at the pictures and the artwork and the lyrics on the inside and stuff. I just think it's cool.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I mean, and it's cool. I think it's cool for the artist too. Like having yourself on vinyl has to be like, and it's one of those things. Like a lot of people, like they ask me on, like I would love to do it, but it is expensive. Like to get that I mean, it's expensive to get like any product printed and stuff like that. But it's expensive to do. So like when people do it, like they've invested like in themselves very well. So like it's they want to make sure that they get that out there, and that's always like a and you can always hold on to that. I guess vinyl would have to be stored differently than CDs, but like I guess you want to try to sell it like as quickly as you possibly can,
Mm-hmm. Well, I made a friend of mine. He has a band, and for his 50th birthday, I took one of his songs, and I sent it to a record label, and they actually pressed me 145 of that song. And I
no way, that's awesome. That's amazing though. That's a great gift.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it had 2 songs on it, an A and a B side, but it you can get it in 12-inch or 45, and then you can get the speed that you want too, if you want 33 or you want 45. But yeah, it cost, I think it was about $39 or something like that. But it was pretty cool.
Wow,
I mean, he's like, oh, now I got to break out the record player out of the garage, But he enjoyed it.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, you definitely get the award that year for sure. There's no way.
Yeah, and I also had a mug made with his band, a coffee mug with his band's name on the mug. It came out really cool too. So
awesome, man! You and all that.
Yeah, I did. So anything else coming up? You got any other gigs, like big gigs coming up besides the saloon?
Not at the moment. I think I'm just I just played we have a big festival down here, and I got to get, and I've always wanted to be involved in it. The festival circuit is something that I really like to get more into, and like we're at the end of the season, obviously, but I got to be a part of Pilgrimage Music Festival, which is like a big deal here in Tennessee, and I'm working with people on getting more involved in stuff like that. So by the time next festival season rolls around, hopefully I can like try to get down to Bonnaroo or something like that. So my main goal is to, like I said, start thinking about that next single, which I think we're like close to. We've narrowed it down, probably like 2 or 3 songs. Mm-hmm. And then I'm working with some booking people on like just getting more, like my transfer as far from like downtown to, everywhere else that I'd like to be, that everywhere else where people would maybe like to hear my music. So it's, I guess the biggest things that would be coming up would be like more shows that are outside of swinging doors, and a new single with the music video attached to it as well.
Nice.
Those to look out for.
I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. I mean, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I had a blast too, man. It's been really, this is like the perfect little morning combo. It's a good way to it was just a little bit of extra coffee in my cup, man. I appreciate you having me on.
If anybody wants to buy any of your merchandise, they can go to jeremyparsonsmusic.com. Is that correct?
Absolutely, man. We got koozies, shirts, CDs, and actually I think there's some, I think I have like a few more copies left of, I did a limited edition vinyl thing. I went up to New York and recorded live versions of my song "Why's the Bluebird Blue" directly onto vinyl. So I think there's like 2 or 3 copies left of that.
Now, do you have those in your possession? They're at your house?
I have someone who does all the shipping for me, because I am a bit aloof sometimes. Uh-huh. It doesn't get out correctly when I do it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, technically in my possession, yes.
Cool. Well, I might be buying one of those vinyl copies and add it to my collection then.
Oh, dude, that would be awesome. Yeah, heck yeah.
Can you sign it for me?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, like I said, Jeremy, it was a pleasure talking to you, and we'll chat soon, all right?
It was my pleasure too, brother. Yeah, I look forward to it, man. Hope you have a great day.
All right, you too, buddy. Bye-bye.
Look out my window, what do I see? A little bluebird looking back at me. He sings a song all alone in his nest, and I wonder if he's singing about loneliness. I open my window and take it all in as I listen to a number by my new blue friend. Is he looking for a lover, or did one just leave? Does he really feel blue, or does his color deceive? Tell me, why is the bluebird blue? Is the song he sings a somber tune? Does he feel like I feel since I lost you? Tell me, why is the bluebird blue? A hummingbird don't hang around too long. A mockingbird makes a living off of other bird songs. And I heard somewhere that a robin weeps, but the bluebird is still one that I can't read. Tell me, why is the bluebird blue? Is the song he sings a somber tune? Does he feel like I feel since I lost you? Tell me, why is the bluebird blue? Yeah, spring is out and there's love in the air, and I know that I've got plenty to share. The bluebird's blue, but so am I, and I feel about as low as the bluebird flies. Tell me, why is the bluebird blue? Is the song he sings a somber tune? Does he feel like I feel since I lost you? Tell me, why is the bluebird, why is the bluebird blue? Is the song he sings a somber tune? Does he feel like I feel since I lost you? Tell me, why is the bluebird blue? Yeah, baby, why is the bluebird blue? Tell me, why is the blue?